If you like, if you have any questions in our dashboard, we can take those questions.
No, the things looks okay. I practice few of the things. Few things are still I need to do. So as of now, it is okay, Rakesh.
Okay, fine. Good. I'm just sharing my screen. If you're not able to see, just let me know.
Yeah, you can see your screen.
Cool. Fine. Then let's wait till others come, I guess. Yeah, Misbah has joined. So, hi, Misbah. Can you hear me?
Hi Rakesh.
Yeah, hi.
Yes.
So, let's wait for 2 more minutes. Krishna is still not joined. So, just checking with him.
It's one of the good feature in Design Studio.
Okay, parallel
Can
processing. See,
yeah.
parallel processing, it is applicable only for BI platform when you're connected to BI platform mode, right? Right now we are in local. If you connect to BI platform mode, then only it is applicable. Else, you can do process is same, but it won't be applicable for other modes. So how to do that is, for example, we have these many data sources, right? Almost 8 data sources, let's say. Now, if we are running the application, what happens is one by one data source gets executed in sequence.
Right.
So first of all,
Right.
first data source will execute, then second, then third, then fourth, then fifth. So if
Mm.
every data source is taking 5 seconds, altogether it will take 8 multiplied by 5, 40 seconds. Right? To improve the performance, what you can do is you can group the data sources in different processing groups so that they are processed in parallel. For example, let's say we want to group that into, there's a on the right hand side properties, right? For each data source, you select a data source and there is a property called processing group. You define a processing group called G1. Okay. Then on the data source
Mm.
itself, you can see there is a name called G1 in the bracket. You select another data source and define its processing group to G2. Select another data source and say again G1. This data source you say G3, G4.
Are you showing some screen to us, or this is the constant screen? I see one constant screen only.
Just let me just share it again. You're able to see now? Is it moving? Some
Yes.
cursor
Yes.
is, sorry. So,
Yeah,
okay.
cursor is moving.
Yeah. So you select a data source on the right hand side properties. I think Krishna has joined. Krishna, are you able to hear me and see my screen? Yes. Okay, fine. So what we are talking is about parallel processing. See, we have 8 data sources here, right? So when we run the application, all the data sources runs in sequence. So first of all, first data source will execute, then second data source, then third. So all together, the execution time will add, and it will decrease the, it will degrade the performance of the dashboard overall. So there is an option to improve the performance. We can group data sources into different processing groups so that they run in parallel. And this is applicable only for BI platform mode. So we have different modes, right? So when your dashboard is published on BI platform mode, then only parallel processing comes into picture. For other three modes, it is always sequential mode, whether you define processing group or not. So how to define processing group is, even you can define the processing group for local also, but it won't be applicable. You select the processing group on the right hand side properties, you go to processing group and just give a name, G1 or anything, whatever naming convention. By default, it will be written as default group. So you just select and say, okay, G2, G3, and this one you say G5. So now we have five processes. Now we have 5 processing group. So we'll have now we are running the data sources in 5 groups parallel. But why can't we have more processing groups, right? We can have 8 processing groups and run them in parallel, so it will be faster again. But if we are running them in parallel, they will consume the resources also. So based on your, for example, you have deployed on BI platform mode, right? So you have a BO server in place. So BO server has some RAM. So it will consume the RAM of the BO server for processing. So if you are creating too many processing groups, it will consume more RAM in BO server. So according to your hardware, you can decide how many processing groups you can create. You should not create more number of processing groups also. Based on your requirement, you can create 2 to 5 processing groups. Is it clear?
Okay. Yes. Rakesh, I just wanted to understand how the background works and how it improves the performance sometime later maybe. Okay. And like the architecture, like what architecture Design Studio follows, so that, you know, when we are designing the things, we will keep that thing in mind and we will work accordingly.
Okay. See, related to best practice and performance, throughout the training we will be talking about, whenever like best practice we see, like always put the naming convention and write most of the code in Java global script, so you don't have to repeat same code again. So those are the best practices we'll follow. We'll be talking about the best practices again, so that we'll consolidate everything whatever we have done in training. And for performance also, like this is one example for performance. Another also we will see how to improve performance and all.
Okay, Rakesh.
Yeah. So yeah, for today, what we will do is our dashboard is ready. So now we will do the formatting of the dashboard using CSS and using available formatting options. So this is my end dashboard. This is the dashboard we are going to create. So we'll start doing the formatting from the first chart, and then we'll apply the CSS and all. So to do the formatting, we have additional properties tab. For each chart or each component, there is additional properties tab. So for some reason, it is not coming for this particular chart. I'll just reset the layout so that it says no additional properties for this chart. Okay, let's start with second chart, then we'll come back to first chart again. So if you want to display any title, we can display title to the chart. It is immediately reflecting also. And where do you want to place that chart? Then what is the font of that? If we want to show the background of the chart or not, so that we can select a background. We don't want to show the background, we can just remove it. And what is the padding, so that we are leaving some 24 pixel space from every side. So instead of 24 pixel, we can say okay 5 pixels, so that it covers most of the chart area. And do we want to put a border or not? We can remove borders. Do we want to show the labels, the actual numbers on the chart? if we want to show the numbers, where exactly we want to show the numbers, inside, outside, outside first. So it will show always inside, always outside. And the third option is based on the chart size, automatically whether inside or outside, it will display. What is the format, whether you want to go ahead with that whatever format it is coming, or you want to put additional 0 or something, that particular format you can decide. You want to put a currency and all, that you can decide here. And fonts, you can control the fonts and all. So basically formatting, you can do it from additional properties. Whether you want to show the grid line, there is a grid line, very grayed out grid line in gray color, so that you can remove. And when we are showing the number, no need to show the x-axis. So we'll remove x-axis also, because we are showing the numbers as data label. So that is not required. Instead of department, see, it is showing department 1. As you can see, it is showing DEPT 01, 02, 03. So it is keys are showing. So instead of keys, what we can do is we can display the name. So we can edit the initial view of the department data source, and instead of key, we'll display text. So that it displays the text of the department. And if you want to sort, you can do the sorting here itself. Like for example, if you want to, right now finance is 491, right? HR, then IT, then admin, but they are not in sorting order. So you can sort based on majors also, descending. So always whatever count is more, it will show on the top. Then you can select the colors also. Legends, if you want to display, whether you want to display here the legends or not. So if you want to display, select and where you want to display, on the bottom, on the right, or okay, we cannot use processing groups. So I'll remove the processing groups because it's not applicable here. If you are using processing groups, then you need to change your settings also. You can't merge the prompts because prompts may be from the different data sources, and then you can't merge. So now there is no error. Yeah, if you want to change the color, then you can select the colors from here. And now the data labels are not visible, so you can go back, data labels, change its color so that it is visible, and always say inside so that everything is visible now. For second chart, again we'll do some more formatting. Don't need any borders. Show data label if required. It's overlapping, so don't. Sometimes if you are able to show the labels, then show it, else leave it. Don't show it, so that users can go and view the values here also. grid line will remove. And yeah, so for the labels, right, for if we are using info chart, we have one additional option. We can use this angles basically. So right now the labels are showing in horizontal. So if you want to change its positions, we can do it. So the labels are now it's rotated by 30 degree, that you can control from here. But that option is, this option is not available if you are using normal chart component. It's available only in info chart. Can change the font and all, whether you want to show labels. Again, the colors you can change. So try to use minimum colors, don't use too much colors, and a color should have some meaning also, and use consistent colors always. If you're using bright colors, always use bright colors in the dashboard. If you're using some dull colors in the dashboard, then throughout the dashboard you use some dull colors only. If you mix both, then it won't look good. Yes, for this component also now the this is coming. You remove the background. No borders, no grid lines. No value access. And legends we can show down, and we can say okay, it should show in center. So this option again, it is available only in info chart if you want to put the labels in center instead of left align, the default ones. If you want to, let's run and see. So if you are using chart component, the legends will always be in left hand side like this. But through CSS, you can put them in center. But with info charts, you have an option. So you can put directly them into center. No need to use CSS. And again, we'll use data labels. And data labels, we have option whether you want to show value, actual number, or the percentage. So if in this particular chart, it makes sense to show percentage, like how many are the, how much percentage we have low risk and how much percentage we have high risk employees. So instead of numbers, we can display percentage as well. Can remove the y-axis as well. And then we can change the colors. And then data labels, again, you can change the color of the data label. So instead of black, you show something in white, so it shows properly. Similarly, you can do the formatting for other two also. So once these chart formatting is done, and you can place some background to it, because the default background is some bluish color, light blue. Instead of that, you can put some white color. If you create your dashboard on white color or black color, it looks better if you use black and white background, either black or either white. So one option is, first you can put a complete background to one background to your dashboard. So you can put a background here itself. And how to put a background is, you put a text component, and auto width, auto height, so it covers the complete dashboard. So now our text box is covering the complete dashboard. Remove the text, and in the CSS style, you can edit, and here you can write the CSS code, whatever CSS code you want to write for that particular component. So you can say background color white. So now the background color of the whole dashboard is white. Instead of whole dashboard, you can put background to each component also. So if you don't want to do that, I'm just hiding this component for now.
Rakesh.
Yeah.
If I want to put any watermark background.
Yes.
Okay, like company logo.
Okay. So that, if you have an image, what you can do is, for example, let's say, let's take some message. We'll create some message. This is XXX company dashboard. You want to put this message as a background. So let's create an image out of it first. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just creating an image. And this we will use as a background. So instead of text, what we'll do is, we'll put an image component. Again, we'll put on the top so it goes behind this image, and we'll say, okay, height and width is auto. So it covers the complete dashboard. And let me just save that image. We need to save that image into repository folder. So we'll use this is our logo. I'm just putting that logo into the repository folder, and from there we will import that image into our dashboard. So now it is covering the whole. This is your watermark basically, right? It is covering. So you can control its opacity. So instead of 100, you can say, okay, 20% only is visible. So now it goes behind. Instead of 20, you can say 10% or something. So this will give you a feeling of a watermark. You can put any message there or any image as a watermark. Is this clear?
Yeah, Rakesh. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So let me just hide this also. Okay. So instead of the background for a whole dashboard, what we can do is, we can create, we'll put images to, background to each component, each chart. And So I just copy pasted the same component. I'm showing visibly. I'm just setting the visibility. So this is the background for first chart. Then we can copy paste for other components also. Now we have background for all the components. So if we run, so now we have background for each chart, but there is no space between, right? So we can give some space in between so that there is some separation from each chart. Either you can put a line between it, or you can put a border also to the using CSS. You can put a border also. So how to get CSS help is just type SAP Design Studio CSS, and this is the link. Okay, so this link, most of the people who are working on Design Studio, they'll be adding some CSS. Whenever they add the CSS, it is update. Most of the like this particular person will update its list. So if you talk about, there are so many CSS scripts available here for each component. For example, if you want to talk about scorecard, so CSS scripts are available. You can simply copy paste based on your requirement and use it for your dashboards. So there is a text box also. For text box also, yeah. So for text box also, there is CSS available, and yes, you can also write your own CSS. So if you want to change its background color, or so those are the CSS available. So you can always come back to this particular blog and seek help. If it is not available here, still you will find somewhere else. And after writing for, like, if you are write for 1 month or 2 months, then you will remember most of the code for CSS. So what we will do is we'll give some space between these charts. So we'll say, okay, from the left margin, I want 2 pixels space, and from the bottom also 2, and from right side, let's give one pixel.
Rakesh?
Yeah.
Yeah, is it possible to have use CSS for fade colors on these bar charts? For example, if there are bar charts with values, is it possible to use CSS to have like two-tone or fade colors on that?
Two-tone colors, I have not used it as of till now.
Yeah.
Two colors, basically, we need to see. I need to check again the CSS if it is working through CSS. We need to debug CSS and all. So one way of debugging is like you run your dashboard, you take that code, and let's put that into Chrome, because it's easy in Chrome to debug the code.
Okay. Yeah. Through the elements. Okay.
Yeah, and what you do is I think F11, sorry, not F11. You inspect the code, basically. You right click,
Yeah.
and you say inspect, and then you identify the class, basically. For each component, there will be classes, right? So for example, for this particular chart, take the cursor and try to identify the class. So this is one class.
All right.
If you change the properties of this class, v data point, v morphable data point, and v data point default, it will make the changes in this particular chart.
Okay.
So you need to try out. I have not tried two colors at least.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So you can do this in IE also, but it's better you do it
Is
in.
there an option in within additional options where we can add two colors to the bars of the bar chart?
In the Design Studio client, it is not available. Maybe through CSS you can do it, but not default option is not available.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm just giving spaces so that it looks uniform. We get a uniform space in between. So if we run and see, we'll get a 2-pixel space in between charts. So we see that we get a 2-pixel space here, and here we get 1 pixel only, so we need to change. Okay, so we'll get 1 pixel here, bottom 2 pixel, and right hand side 2 pixel also. So based on if you think 2 pixel is enough, if you don't feel like 2 pixel is not enough, you can increase the pixels, how many pixel of gap you want in each chart. And then same thing, we'll do it. Top 0, left again 2, bottom 2, right 1. Top 0, left 1, bottom 2, right 1, left 1, bottom 2, right 2. So now we got a line across all the charts, and then we can move our icons little inside. We can reduce the chart size also so that it fits. Then we can put headers to the each chart. So to put the headers, what we can do is we can insert again text boxes. I'll start with this chart. Input text boxes, and you can say, okay, this is risk valuation. I'm just trying to recreate the same dashboard, whatever like this dashboard I'm trying to recreate. So risk valuation, another heading is by head count, and you can give a little bit space from top so that now as you see you don't want you want we can use this CSS. So font size, if you want to change the font size, what we can do is font size and 10 pixel. You can say font weight, bold. So immediately it will reflect. You can give color also. So color, either we can give RGBA in this format, and this one is for transparency, how much transparent you want. So you can give 0.5. If you think that it's not visible, you can increase its transparency. Instead, you can decrease its transparency. So like that, you can put titles to each. Then these text boxes again for header also. You can put an image also for logo. And image, again we need to put that image into repository. I have already kept that image into repository. And then we can give title. We can start the title from, can it increase its font size. Can give color also. Either we can just type the name of the color, we can give, or we can give hash code or hash color also. So if you want to give hash something 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 hex code, that hex color code, that also you can give. Yeah, 44 is too much. That way you can format your dashboard. You can give the formatting here also for this particular header also, total head count also. You can give CSS code. You can give CSS code for each and everything. So now I'll just go to this dashboard. Now this should be your final outcome after doing all the formatting. So while you just look at the dashboard, if a particular formatting, if you want to discuss that formatting, we can discuss like how to achieve a particular formatting. Like there is a space in between, we have more space here instead of 2 pixel, like maybe it's given 5 to 10 pixel space. You can put another text box just to say, okay, click on charts to apply filter. This is again one more text box.
Yeah, Rakesh, I have one question.
Yeah.
Suppose in graph, in the data source, the datas are like in month field, the datas are written like January, okay, 2017. Okay. And in graph also it is coming like that, and because of that it's the text is so long. So I just wanted to sort it, as a Jan 17, Jan-17.
Okay.
How can I achieve it?
If you in a drop down, yes, you can do that. But in graphs, you will not be able to.
In graph.
In graph, whatever data is coming from the data source, right? It will display that data only. Like for example, department, it's written department and total count, right? Department admin total count. It's everything is coming from the data source only. You will not be able to change this tooltip. If you want to change, instead of department, you should you want to write only DEPT or only D, then you need to change your data source, because it will reflect the whatever is there in the data source.
But if the data source, if in data source the data are not properly, it's a long data.
Yeah.
But I want to display as a short data.
Correct.
So we cannot achieve.
Not in Design Studio. You can't do that in Design Studio. Yeah, you can do it if you're using Bex queries and all. You can create your own characteristic. Like you can create info objects again, and maybe you can do it in backend, not in the front end, because 2017 is coming from the data source, right? and we are just binding the data source to the charts. There is no option of manipulation before we bind the data sources.
Can't you put some condition while fetching the data from data source, and then in the condition itself using some for loop, if the date field is, if the field value is like that, then convert it to this, something like that?
No, not in the data source. See, if this is a query, right, Bex query, maybe in the query you can write a logic, but the output of the query you can't manipulate. Within the query, yes, you
But
can
Rakesh,
manipulate.
just suggest me, Rakesh, one thing just coming in my mind. I'm not sure. I have seen any scenario anywhere.
Rakesh, I think I would just like to add on this. I think what he means to say is basically that data might be coming in the backend, might be maintained in keys, but in front end, maybe if you want to add a label to that particular key, is it possible we can show that key within the drop down, like key as a label?
No, in the drop down you can do the manipulation of data, not on the charts.
And okay, or not on the charts.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm talking about talking on chart, Misab.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So if it is coming like January 2017, so if it is coming to data, so it will be a long test, right? So that the data display will be bad. In that regard, I'm just looking, if it can be sort to Jan 17, then the display will be more good.
I agree, but
can we, Rakesh, can we just take that particular label that we have given to the drop down? Can we just add that same label that we are creating to the chart as well? Like, can we just fetch that particular label?
Okay, what we'll do is instead of this.
So, for example, if you have drop down, Jan 17. In the drop down, when you click that, it shows the same label on the chart as well. Like, can we do that?
Wait. What I'll do is I'll just show you the example. What Dev is looking for. Instead of department, we'll show the calendar month.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is already there.
Yeah. So now if we run, we are showing the date on the charts. Right, so it is showing, okay, April 2016. Okay, we are showing the key also in the edit initial view. Let me just remove the key. So we are displaying only text. Okay. So now what Dev is asking is, it is showing April 16, APR-16. Instead of that, he may wants to show 04-16 or APR in capital, right? Basically,
Correct.
you want to manipulate the data, what is coming from the data source. So that feature is not available. You can't manipulate the data and show it on the chart. You can, if you are manipulating, then you can show it either in a drop down or in some text boxes, because there you can write if else logic.
Can we manipulate the title, not the actual data, just the title, the visual that we see?
No, that's what you can't see. We are seeing APR
dynamic.
This is coming from data source.
Yeah, this is dynamic, and therefore, if this would have been static, then we could have done. But as this is dynamic, so it will be tough. But Rakesh, I'm just wondering, please suggest me. Yeah. So if while loading the data, okay, if we will, using the array, okay, and if you will put all the things with condition, and then we will convert it into the required format, and then if you will call the array into the graph,
okay,
so yeah, possible.
See, that's that by calling array you can manipulate the data into drop down or text boxes, but the chart will always need a data source. You need to bind a data source directly to it. You can't bind an array to the chart. You need to bind a data source directly. So whatever you set in initial view, again that will directly go into the chart.
Okay. So
In
basically
between,
no option, right?
yeah,
If
no
client
option.
asks for this, then I will say no.
No,
Correct?
yeah, correct. That feature is not available as of now because data manipulation is not available for charts. You can put array in between drop down boxes. So while loading the drop down, because you are loading the drop down boxes via Java scripting, right? So
Can we do these things in initial view?
no, initial view also you don't have option. Initial view you have just options.
Because in Lumira, sorry Rakesh, in Lumira, like if we have this type of requirement,
Correct.
we can, we can do it as per the, business requirement. We can convert it like that.
There you
So
can
here
do.
we can't do.
No, here we don't have that option. For example, what we want to display, either we want to display key text or key text both. That is the option available for display.
Okay. So here Design Studio is lacking in terms of Tableau,
Yeah,
ClickSense.
correct. Because ClickView, Tableau, and those tools, even Lumira, right? They are basically for data discovery. They are not for meant for dashboarding purpose, actual dashboarding purpose. When you talk about dashboards, they are meant for higher management, for C-level. So those people, they'll not be playing with Tableau and ClickView also. What they want is whenever they want to, they just open a dashboard and they should not create a dashboard because Tableau is for data discovery. You can just bring your data and do some kind of analysis. So that is for middle management kind of people. So there, yeah, if they don't have the option to do the cleansing part, right? They'll have simply data in their Excel and they can clean the data at the runtime also. So that option is available. But here, dashboards, right? Design Studio dashboards, they are structured dashboards. So it will be developed by IT guy also. So you will have a backend team also who will be supporting you. So those people will clean the data for you.
So this is not possible by any other third-party component.
Third-party components, I have not seen any component. I have tested few components, but as of now, I have not come across this requirement basically. So I have not explored this requirement. But I don't think so. This is possible because overall data manipulation in charts are not possible.
Okay, Rakesh.
Rakesh, is it possible on a crosstab?
No. Again, crosstab.
Okay.
Because crosstab again, you are assigning a data source, right, directly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's the same.
Correct. But yeah, you can.
It's possible on drop down and text boxes.
Yeah. Again, you can create a crosstab. It will give you a feeling of crosstab, but that what you can do is you can instead of crosstab, right? Let me just hide this chart and I'll create a crosstab for you, where you can do this kind of you can do this kind of manipulation. So what you do is you insert a grid instead of crosstab directly. You insert a grid. And for example, if your crosstab, if it has limited number of rows and columns that you know, for example, it has 4 rows and 5 columns, you divide that grid and you put single text box in each cell and then map the data so that it will give you a feeling of a table, but actually it is not a table. It is a combination of different cells, different text boxes you are just putting into one grid component. It will give you a feeling of table, but there it's a text box, right? So you can manipulate the data.
Can we see this? It's a great example.
See,
Later on, or maybe.
I'll just simply copy paste the things. Okay, I'm just putting one text box, auto height, auto width. Okay.
So basically, it's hard coding the values.
No.
Into these
See.
things.
Okay. Let me just put this is. For example, let me create one data source. I'll take this data source. Okay. I'll take just male and female numbers. Okay. In table, I'll put male and female number in tables. So instead of this cross tab, what I'll have is I have 3 rows and 2 columns. So first rows and 2 columns. Yeah. So this is for male And another one is for female. So now in these text boxes, if you want to put something, some numbers, you can put, okay, so this is text 12, right? You can say text 12 dot set text. It's coming from gender data source dot get data as string. Select data, and this is male. This is text 13. Text 13 I'll be putting female. Okay. So now if we run, we have this male and female, but it's not giving, as of now it is not giving me a table kind of feeling. So you can put a border to the grid. How to do that is you can use a custom CSS. So there, now it comes to CSS file. As of now, whatever CSS code we have written on the component only, right? This text box, if we see this particular text box, risk valuation, we have written the CSS code here, right? Directly. So instead of writing a CSS code here, you can create a CSS file and always refer that file. So for that, you select application, and on the right hand side properties, you go to custom CSS. And if you already have a CSS file, you can upload from here by going to repository. If you don't have, you can always create by clicking here. In the local mode, it's not creating. You select a particular CSS file, you create, open a notepad and simply create, okay. You save a file as .css. Sample.css, and save here directly. Sample.css, all files. So it will be saved as a CSS file. Now you can edit that CSS file. Yeah. So for grid, how you write a CSS code is you start with dot and give a class name. And for example, we are talking about grid 1, and then you open the bracket and close the bracket. Then you write your CSS code. In 1.6 you have option, okay, the basically parameters are available, you can give its values directly here. So you say border, you want to put a border. One pixel. Then you can put semicolon to end. So border is defined. So this is your CSS class. Now you want to apply this CSS class for a particular grid. So this is the new grid which we inserted. So you select that particular grid, go to CSS class, type the grid CSS class name. You can run and see. I think it won't show. We need to change its CSS class. Some properties we need to change. So it's not coming. So let's go back and change its properties. One solid black, let's say. Okay. 1 pixel solid black, and we need to write TD also. For grid, we need to write TD. For other components, we don't have to write. We can simply use the class name. So this will give you a feeling of table now. We have 4 different text boxes, but we have placed them into a grid. So it looks like a table after applying border. Here we can do the manipulation. For example, instead of 110996, we want to show this data in millions or thousands. So what we can do is we can convert the value into thousands first. So this is my value. Let's define a variable test equal to. So instead of data string, first get the data. So we got the data and we'll take the value of the data now, and also we'll divide it by 1000. So we are doing the manipulation here. Then we need to convert this into text, because this right now this is the number. We need to convert this into. So let me just create again test1. We'll use a convert method, convert dot, and then it will give you all the options, float to string, or so we want to convert from float to string, and the number is test. So now we have test1 as a string. So instead of this, we'll put test1. So now you see we have divided it by 1000, so it gives you 110.996. So we have done the manipulation. We want to add something, we can add. Similarly, for months also we can do that. We can get the values into array, and then we can start the for loop and do the manipulation there. Is it clear?
Yes, Rakesh.
Yes, Rakesh.
Yes.
Rakesh, can we do the similar function like as in cross tab when we hover on a certain row or a cell? It changes the color, and then and once we click it, it reflects this. It filters out the data based on that on another chart. Can we do that here as well in this grid?
Yeah, you can do that. See, for that what you need to do is there are two parts. One is you want to hover. Whenever you hover your mouse, it should change the color, right? So what you need to find is you need to find a property for hover in CSS. So see, best option is you can identify, okay, text box CSS for hover. So any link will give you the code basically. Okay. So this is the code you can use.
Okay.
Okay. So CSS is finding CSS is for one part to it. Second part is when you click, right, you want to filter the data. Right. For example, if I click here, right, on mail, then it should simply filter the data so that you can write on click event basically.
It's the same thing that you applied on another component, right?
Yeah.
Like when we select that particular data source, it sort of filters out that
Correct.
single.
So what I'll do is I'll just
Set
copy paste the
filters.
same script on the this number also. So you can click on the number also as well. Instead of image, you can click on number also. Same thing you can apply on grid also, right? It's the text box components only.
Can we achieve this in Crosstab, Rakesh?
Yeah, cross tab also. See, for example, see, if you click on the number, now it is filtered for mail. Click on and refresh it, and if you
Yes,
click on right.
yes, I understood.
Yeah.
Yes, I understood. But if if I'm using a crosstab and if I'm clicking and I want the effect should go to the other component, can we achieve it?
Yeah, you can do that also. See what
Crosstab is by default, I think. It's by
again,
default.
it's a yeah, that option is available. See, wherever you have on click event, you can do that. See, in cross tab also you have that option on select event. So then you can write your code.
Okay.
The other part, hover part, you can do it through CSS. But we need to identify the CSS code. I'm not sure whether this will work or not. You need to try out basically. But yeah, that you can achieve.
Okay.
So I think now everyone will be able to reach till this stage, right? After doing the formatting. Do you see any issues?
Okay.
Because once this is done, like we can talk about the other topics. And anyways, I have loaded the data into, I have created the queries also. So tomorrow we'll talk about how to connect to BW and how to create dashboard from BW.
Okay. Rakesh, before that, you said about this coloring the graph and all. If the first graph is, the shaded color, then all the graph should be shaded color. But do you have any this? This is because very important for presentation. So any document do you have on these things like about the graph and all, how to design?
How to design means how to format the graph.
Yeah. How to format the graph, like the right choosing the right graph, right color. This is very important.
Okay, choosing the right graph. I have something I'll share with you guys, like how to choose a graph. So that I'll share, but the color again it depends on overall, right? This particular dashboard, if you see, most of the colors are in blue. I have used the blue shade most of the places, right? So you need to use a theme. Always use a theme, and for multiple colors. For example, this in this pie chart, right? You have multiple colors. So use a palette, and palette you can search online. So based on your requirement, whether you want a dull palette or bright palette, you can use a palette, but always use combination of colors. For example, one website is there. This website will help you, because this website, if a particular color, it gives you the shades of the color. So you can, if you want to use shades, right, you can use the direct CSS code from this hex code from here. So if you want to use shades, right, you can use, okay, this color, then this color, then this color. So you give you leave 2-3 colors and then use the third color or fourth color, so it will give you shades. Apart from that, you have these, right, analog colors you can use. So if you are using this color in your dashboard, then you can use these 2 colors also, it will look good. Even you can use these 2 colors also, it will look good. This is a complementary color. So if you are using comparison, right, you are doing some comparison between actual and budget, use these colors. If you are using this color for actual, then use the second color for budget. These are the complementary colors. So this website will give you the detail of the color. So definitely you can go while choosing the second color, right? First color you can decide, the second color, which color you want to use is, you can analyze the color and based on your requirement you can select.
One last question, Rakesh. Like,
Yeah.
You said about that drop down. Okay, so during runtime, you know, loading the data to components, I want to manipulate the data using array, and then I want to put into the drop down.
Yes.
Okay.
So easily you can do it. How to do it is, see how we are loading the data into drop down is we are directly pushing the data from the data source, right, into drop down. So instead of that, what you can do is you can first fetch the data into array. Okay, so let me just comment this part. Okay, so define an array, say we array, okay, equal to I have ds trend dot get members. So this will give me the array, and I can select the dimension. Okay, cal month, let's say 20. So I have 20 values in my array now. Now you can start the array by for each by giving the array name dot for each. So this is started. Now in the loop you can do the manipulation. For example, this element is, right, in cal month we have array, right? So this array will have text and key. So what this array will have is, for example, array 00, right? Array will have v array 0. So it will have one value here, and what will be the value is first cal month, right? So it will have text and key. For example, 2016 09 and September 2016, like that. So this is my first array, right? So element dot text is, this is my element dot text, and this is my element dot key. Now I can manipulate. So you can say define a variable month equal to this. Now you use month equal to element dot text plus you want to say something. For example, you want to add m. Before adding that into, now we are doing the manipulation. Now you can add this value into drop down. So drop down period dot add items, value will be element dot key, and text which you are displaying, right? So instead of the default text you can display month, your new text. Now if you run, so you have added m after each month. You have done the manipulation.
Yeah. Okay. One small change to that track is, like if I want to go as per the upper bound of the array, upper bound of like I don't want to fix it 20. I want to go as per the records.
Yeah, no, you need to define your array, right? Whether you want to fetch 500 members or 10,000 members, that upper limit you need to define.
We can do one thing. Please correct me, Rakesh. Like if there is any data source and if there is any number of records, using the split function, we will come to know how many records are there. Okay, and then taking the upper bound from the split function, we can, make it dynamic instead of static.
No, but this will not make any difference, right? If you put 5,000 also and you are fetching just 2 records, right? It will not degrade your performance. So you can put 5,000 also. There is no issue. And definitely you will not have more members, right, in your data source, which you want to display in drop down, right? You will not display like 1,000 members in drop down. It will become very difficult for end user to select from 1,000. Think
Yes,
from that
correct.
point also, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
that is absolutely right.
you can put you can like create a dynamic list also, no issues. But you
Yes, thank you.
run the array and you can do the manipulation, whatever manipulation you want to do. Okay. Fine, guys. Any other question, because we're already late. So because from tomorrow onwards, we'll talk about the other topics, whatever topics are remaining in our course content, we'll go one by one. Because dashboard is ready. If you have any question related to dashboard, you can drop me a separate note, or we can discuss in tomorrow's class for 10-15 minutes also.
Rakesh, sorry, can you go to the total headcount so that I can see what are the properties?
Okay, so you want to see
the whole strip.
You want to see the CSS?
No, the whole time period and the total headcount, new hire, attrition, all the, just highlight on that box.
Okay. See this total headcount. This is my text box, total headcount text box. So this is the CSS written for text total headcount. So this is the color, blue color. The font size is 18. If you want to comment something, you don't want to bold some, like I have written the bold, but I am not using it. So I have commented it. And text align is center. I want to put the text into center. You can put it right also instead of center. So it will be aligned in the right hand side.
Did you divide the grade in that part, like total headcount and new hire, attrition?
There actually I have used a separate grid.
Okay.
Right. So based on your requirement, you can add. What I'll do is I'll share this file also with you guys, so you can compare. I'll remove whatever changes I have done recently.
That'll be great.
So what I'll do is I'll export this.
Don't remove that. Make it comment, please. I just wanted to go through that.
Okay, I have done that. So anyways, what you can do is you can use for each. You can define an array. Get member is the method. Then cal month you can define your maximum number. Then for each you can start, and my array name is v array. You can define one v month, where month name equal to, and here you can say month name equal to element dot text plus a, and then you can add that value into drop down dot add items. So value is element dot internal key, and text what you want to display to the end user is month name. Okay, so I'll comment this part basically. Okay, you can uncomment. Okay, I'll share this dashboard with everyone so that you can create your own dashboard using this dashboard. If something is not clear, you can take the reference from this dashboard, and still if you have any questions, you let me know.
Yeah, at the application side, only we can write down that Java I mean the scripts, right?
No, JavaScript, see, on each component you can write JavaScript, right? We have written the JavaScript on each chart. On select event, in this on select event, you are writing JavaScript only. It's a script editor, you are writing a JavaScript only.
Okay. Sure.
So we have written the JavaScript on each chart, each refresh button, and text this drop down on startup.
And on the application header.
Yeah. So yeah, even there all everywhere you just go through this application. There is other features also I have included in this application. You can just go through it and understand. And if you are not able to understand, just let me know. I'll explain those things.
Is that this application we can the one you are going right now, right?
Yeah.
So we can see that application.
Yeah. What I'll do is I'll just export it.
Right, please.
Okay.
That would be great.
I'll export it.
Thank you.
And I'll give it. Yeah. So I'll give you this application. What you can do is you can simply import the application.
Yeah.
Okay. Select the folder which I'll be giving you, right? I think this is the dashboard. So you just simply import it. It will import. You give the name because I have already this name, so I'll give another name. Simply keep all the reference files in that and say finish. You will have the dashboard with you.
Wonderful.
Okay. Then you can just compare it with your dashboard and you can change in your dashboard accordingly.
Yeah. Can you please send that?
Yeah, I'll send after the class.
Sure. Thank you so much. You made it easier. I'm going back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, you don't have to go to the videos again. You can simply take the reference from this dashboard itself.
Yes, that'll be easier.
Fine. So tomorrow, anyways, we'll talk about the BW and other stuff, whatever topics are remaining. So, okay. So let's complete till this dashboard by tomorrow. Okay, guys.
Thank you so much.
Any other question? You just let me know on WhatsApp. Okay. I'll exit the meeting now. Okay, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.